Another day, another challenge, and today we're playing as the spy from TF2. I'll explain the rules really quickly. So, in this challenge I have to play as if I were the spy from TF2. So what does that mean? Well, that means I have to use weapons that the spy would use, and I have to align myself with characters the spy would probably align himself with. So for weapons this challenge, I chose the 357 Magnum revolver, the 44 Magnum revolver, and the Ranger Sequoia, because they're, well, all revolvers, and the spy is, notorious for using his revolver. And for the one other weapon in this challenge, I chose the Switchblade, because it's the only other... It's the only knife in this game that matches any of the knives that the spy uses. So, yeah, and if you don't know anything about the Switchblade, it's, well, I don't blame you for not knowing anything about it, because I imagine you never fucking used it, because it sucks. It's an absolutely terrible weapon. Complete shit. So, let's move on to the challenge, shall we?
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig?
Suck.
You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene.
Suck!
From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck.
No coffin can contain me.
Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
So for my special stats, I chose 6 in strength because it's the minimum I need for all the weapons I'm going to be using. I chose 6 in perception because a good spy is always a little bit perceptive. 1 in endurance because, well, spy is the fucking weakest class, and depending on the weapon you use, you will also have the lowest health pool in the entire game, that being 70 when using the kunai. I chose 7 in charisma. Now, I know charisma is a complete trash stat, but a good spy is always a little charismatic. I chose 5 in intelligence just so I can get, the extra skill points whenever I level up. 10 in agility because, well, the spy is obviously a very agile guy. He's tied for second fastest in the game. Also, just so I can reload faster because a lot of the guns I'm using are extremely slow, and extra VAT points. And finally, 5 in luck just so I can get a normal amount of crits. For my tag skills, I took guns, obviously. Lockpick, I need lockpick very early on so I can get a very special weapon at the start. And I chose sneak because, well, spy is a sneaky guy after all. It makes sense. And for traits, I took skilled and wild wasteland. So now let's move on to the spy's adventure in the Mojave. So I did all the usual stuff in Good Springs, looted Doc Mitchell's house, looted Victor's shack, did the Sunny Smiles tutorial, helped Good Springs, and just like that, I left Good Springs, abandoning it like how the spy abandoned Scout. Like, damn, Spy's a pretty bad dad, like, just an asshole. He's just an asshole. What a bad father. He's not even a father. He's just a fucking donor at this point. If your dad is French and he tells you he's going out to buy baguettes, body wash, and Gillette razors, you should be very confused and concerned. Because French people don't shave and wash their bodies. And that's my one obligatory French joke of the day. I traveled up north a little bit to just, see Sloan and all that. And along the way I killed plenty of powder gangs, but I decided I would do it in an interesting manner. I decided I would disguise myself as a powder ganger first, and then get the drop on them and kill them like a good spy would do. Just, to spice things up. Act like the spy.
I never really was on your side.
I picked up my switchblade at the casino in Prim. I had a little bit of a struggle because some asshole kept walking in and trying to sniff me out, so I might have killed him a few times, but I eventually got it. And I found my special 357 Magnum revolver inside the Bison Steve Hotel. This will be my main weapon for a majority of this playthrough. Let me explain something very quickly about my weapon situation. I am very limited in what I can use, right? I have 3 revolvers in 1 melee weapon. And the melee weapon I am restricted to is the absolute worst melee weapon in the entire game. Absolutely horrible. It might even be the worst weapon in the entire game. It is fucking atrocious. At least with other bad weapons in the game, like the BB gun or the fucking flare gun even, you at least have range with that. But no, for a switchblade, I have to get in close, and just, it's fucking horrible. Even getting a sneak attack on most people is not enough to kill someone in 1 hit with this terrible, terrible weapon. Low-level enemies might die, but once you're out of the beginner areas of Fallout New Vegas, everything just becomes, you know, much too fucking difficult to fight with a switchblade, right? It would be the equivalent of trying to fight someone. Like, let's say you get a knife fight in some dark alleyway in Detroit. It'd be like trying to fight some crazed crack addict with a fucking actual knife with a plastic toy knife used in a fucking kid's, like, kitchen set, okay? It's not gonna work, man. It's not a smart idea. So, yeah, the special revolvers are gonna be coming in clutch here. Okay, so rant aside, back to the game. So I snuck over to Black Mountain to grab a dead NCR soldier's outfit so I could disguise myself as a NCR soldier in order to get onto the strip for completely free. You know, just because. Also, disguising. The spy disguises. I gotta play like the spy. I also decided to solve the conflict at Boulder City by trying to sneak kill a few cons to get the hostages out, but I only ended up, you know, having to kill them all. But whatever. I don't care. I mean, I'm siding with Mr. House again, so I'm never going to have to interact with the cons ever again after this. I guess all that does is really just emphasize how much of a fucking nobody clan the Great Cons are, right? For the past, you know, 2, or actually they didn't appear at all in Fallout 3, but Fallout 1 and 2, all they did was just get their asses kicked by the main character. They fucking suck. The cons suck. Okay, so I went to Camp McCarran, took the fucking train. I know it's not a train, whatever. But I got onto the strip for completely free. And I made my way over to kill Benny, first thing. And I decided I'm going to do this sneakily. I'm going to do it super fucking awesome. Problem is, Benny sees you no matter what. He has a fucking range of... He just has a range of detection where if you're just in that range, doesn't matter what's going on. You could be using a stealth boy, he'll still spot you, right? It's pretty fucking stupid. So you can't do a stealth kill on him, or at least the way I wanted to do it was stab him in the back with the fucking switchblade. But I can't do that if he can see me from behind him while I'm wearing a fucking stealth boy. So I reloaded the save. Game crashed because I wanted to give it a few more shots. Eventually I did get it, but the game crashed again, eventually. Not only did it crash the game, but it pretty much crashed the whole fucking computer. Because my machine is a piece of absolute shit. So I lost the footage of me killing Benny, which sucked. and I couldn't get it again because I had saved after it. So I decided to remedy this terrible mistake. I'm going to add a few extra challenges. First off, I can only wear suits now through the rest of the game. Only suits. Now, the problem with that is suits offer basically no protection. The best suit in the game is Benny's suit, and it oh god, it provides 1 damage threshold. 1. So I'm basically getting no protection still. And my character already has an endurance of 1. I'm basically as weak as a kunai spy, you know, just at any given moment. So, the worst part is I can't get any, you know, I can't stab someone in the back to get a bunch of overheal. You know, that's not how this works. So, a fucking strong gust of wind could break my back, and I'd be fucked. So on top of that, I decided I'm also going to wipe out the Quarry Junction. Now, I know the Quarry Junction is not the most difficult place in the game. At least to those who know a bit about this game. They know it's not the most difficult area. That right goes to Windfall Cavern and the Deathclaw Promontory. And if you have the Lonesome Road, then, yeah, that goes to the Courier's Mile. Then again, who has New Vegas in this current day and age and doesn't have the DLC too? That's fucking backwards, man. What the hell are you doing without the DLC? So anyway, the only things we missed outside of me killing Benny was me talking to Mr. House for the first time and obtaining the mysterious Magnum, which makes my second revolver in the game. So after doing those 2 things, we made our way over to Fortification Hill and just, you know, upgraded the Securitron, standard Mr. House affair. So yeah, that's really it for that area. No mass genocide in the Legion, because, yeah, that wouldn't go very well with 0 armor. Plus, I want to save my resources for when I have to fight Deathclaws. But one thing I could very quickly make out with my time in Mr. House's bunker is that, yeah, the 0 armor thing's gonna be a real pain in the ass because that damage adds up quick, right? Even normal protectrons and turrets can kill someone very easily when they don't have any armor. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad. Now, after doing all those things, I decided I'd get a few more items I'm gonna need. So, what else do I need? Well, I'm going to need to pick up the best revolver in the game, which is the Ranger Sequoia. It's just a big fucking revolver. Think of it as the Diamondback or the Ambassador of Fallout New Vegas. So yeah, it's going to be a big fucking deal, so I got to grab that. And the problem is, you can only find them on NCR Rangers. So that would mean I'd have to kill one. Or there's a simple little kind of exploit you could do where I'm going to go on over to Camp Gulf, going to loot all the ammo out of an NCR Ranger, specifically Chief Hanlon, wait 36 hours precisely, and then the gun will be in his inventory, and all I have to do is simply steal it. Learn something new every day, don't ya? But I also need stealth boys, because Spy goes invisible a whole lot. Unfortunately, there is no place where I can buy stealth boys, but there is a place where I can technically get infinite stealth boys, but that requires I do a little work for the Legion. Or I could turn in dog tags to this dipshit at Cottonwood Cove and get enough good reputation that I can get access to infinite stealth boys. So in order to get dog tags, I need to either A, kill a bunch of NCR, or steal a bunch of dog tags. Thankfully, my sneak skill is very high, so I can hide basically in front of someone's fucking face. So I just had to hide around, steal dog tags. I think I stole like over 50 I'll put up a total tally mark here, but I'm pretty sure it was over 50 by the end of it. So yeah, over 50 dog tags, and I get access to the Legion safe house. Every few days in the Legion safe house, this guy shows up, and you can ask him to give you stealth boys. He gives you 2 at a time, and you have to wait 3 days for him to come back. So I just sat there for like 30 minutes, just collecting a bunch of stealth boys. By the end of it, I had a good enough storage of stealth boys. So I was pretty excited for the game on stealth boys. So that marks the end of me getting all the items I'm going to use for the rest of the game. Now it's time to go on to the boomers. Going to the boomers, I equipped my most defensive piece of armor, which was a fucking stupid checkered suit that gave me 1 damage threshold, so I basically received all the damage I normally would, only like 1% less probably. So it was difficult, took me a few tries to get there, but I eventually made it. And believe me, I get past this part of the game first try pretty much every time. So dying to this part again was really nostalgic maybe, because it reminded me of my first playthrough. When I got to the boomers, I decided I would help them again because, part of a spy's skill set is getting allies, to just have some help, just to get people to back them up, right? I'm a spy, not an assassin. It's not my job just to go to everywhere and just kill the people that might oppose me. No, I'm gonna get them to be on my side, steal their information, what a spy's supposed to do. So after the boomers, it was the Omertas, and I decided I would do the full quest this time. I did everything. Well, I didn't do everything. I just took the quickest route in order to get to the end of this quest, which requires me to murder Big Sal and some other fucking dipshit that works with him. Oh, but that's not everything. I also decided to add a secret 3rd challenge, and that was to acquire a special item. A very special item that some of you might not even know exists. It's a variant of the Pip-Boy called the Pimp-Boy 3 billion. In order to get this Pip-Boy variant, you have to begin the quest where you have to investigate the Omertas for either Mr. House, Yes Man, or NCR. What you do then is you have to go talk to Ralph at Mick and Ralph's in Freeside, ask him how business is doing. He'll tell you, oh, things have been better. The Omertas aren't buying guns from us anymore. Anyway, just finish the quest for the Omertas, right? Just finish that, and then go back and talk to Mick and Ralph, or just Ralph. I think it's Ralph. Yeah, it's Ralph. The guy that looks like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. Talk to Ralph, tell him, hey, Omertas, they'll start buying guns from you again, man, and then he'll give you the Pimp-Boy 3 billion. It makes sense for the spy to have an item like this. He's a man of expensive taste. Alright, next is the Brotherhood of Steel. This time around, I still had to kill them, but I did it in a bit more unique fashion, I suppose. I decided I would do the self-destruct. So what that means is I have to go to the Brotherhood bunker, do a mission for them so they can take off the bomb collar on me. Then I sneak around the Brotherhood base, steal the 3 key cards needed to activate the self-destruct, and I made my way out. This is one of those moments where, what the fuck, why is it launching Battlefront 2? I only asked to download it, not launch it, what the fuck? Oh, god damn it. Sorry about the interruption, but what that means is I have to collect 3 key cards, go to a terminal, activate the password, put in the password, blow up the place. So this is where the stealth boys come in handy. There's no way in fuck I can fight all these Brotherhood guys with 0 armor. So instead I decided pop a stealth boy and sneak my way out. I know it's boring. I know it's really boring, but it fits the character I'm playing. I'm playing as a spy, so sneaking around is kind of my deal. So yeah, that's the end of the Brotherhood, which is, a whole lot easier than what happened last episode. And there we go. That's the end of that. So the next mission for Mr. House was saving President Kimball from assassination. I did this mission successfully and stopped President Kimball from being assassinated because I had a good enough rep with the NCR apparently this time around. After that, it was just a quick trip to El Dorado substation, and then it was time for the Hoover Dam. But there was one last thing to handle, and I mentioned it earlier. Oh yeah, time for the Quarry Junction. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, to say the least. So, zero armor combined with weapons that are more geared towards fighting human enemies than death claws, right? Death claws, you want to bring big explosive, big guns, assault rifles, miniguns. You don't want to be shooting them with a good old 6-shooter, okay? That's just asinine. So this is going to be tough. So for a lot of this, I did a lot of sneaking around and then shooting. So I snuck around and tried to get as many stealth criticals as I could. Thankfully, I did manage to bank off a couple, but the Deathclaw Mother and Deathclaw Alpha definitely gave me a run for my money. I died a handful of times, but I eventually got it down. So in order to kill a Deathclaw Mother, I had to cripple at least one of its legs so it couldn't rush at me at the speed of a fucking fighter jet. Like, what the hell? This thing is like 15 feet tall. How is it running this fast? It's fucking what? But yeah, cripple Deathclaw Mother's legs, or just leg, so then it can only hobble towards me. Finish it off, and then the Deathclaw Alpha was a bit more just a fight for my life. I just really had to bank on getting some lucky crits, as well as crippling its legs so it can't rush towards me. Because no matter what, the Alpha Deathclaw is going to one-shot me. Because of how low my endurance and armor is, I will be one-shotted by this thing every time. Guaranteed. So this was going to be a challenge. But eventually, I did get it. It required me scaling off that little cliffside a few times to confuse it, and then eventually I got it. I got that Alpha Deathclaw. I fucking killed it. With basically no defense. Sure, I tricked its AI, but I still got it. I still got that bitch in the end. This was a pretty difficult challenge, you know, killing his Deathclaws with this loadout. Not to mention, I think I'm only level 15 by the time I get here. Yeah, I'm not exactly a high level. Alright, now I'm gonna kill you with a knife. Oh, look at that, I killed him. So now it is time for the Battle of Hoover Dam. So yeah, let's just let that play out.
Listen up, gentlemen. Time to get serious.
Oh dear, I've made quite a mess.
Live in a van!
You suck.
Too easy.
All in a day's work.
Well, that was idiotic.
Your precious sandwich won't save you now, fatty!
Surprise! Hello again, dumbbell. Well, off to visit your mother. The world will thank me for this, you monster. I'm looking at your X-ray, and I'm afraid you suck.
Well, the moment has passed. Back to work.
Well, that marks the end of the spy's adventure in Mojave. This definitely was a bit more challenging than the heavy, just because of how low my defense is. Having absolutely, basically nothing for armor is quite a pain in the ass. It's a very big challenge to go through this game with basically nothing to protect yourself. So yeah, I don't think this will be the hardest challenge yet in the series. I think that will probably go to the medic whenever I get there. But for now, this is going to be the hardest one. I mean, not that there's, not that there's been a whole lot of challenges to contend with here. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see how difficult some of the other ones get later. Also, I would like to give a quick thank you to everyone that watched the last video. It has been my most successful video by far, and I am very thankful for your help. Now, I'm not going to sit here and jerk you guys off forever, so I'm just going to make my goodbyes here. Oh wait, I almost forgot. One last thing. On my community page, there is a poll right now to decide what mercenary from TF2 I play next. Currently, Pyro is in the lead. Maybe enough of you guys can change the tide of the vote if you vote. So go check that out, right on my community page. So that's all for today. Have a good one. And, yeah, tune in next week.